Gentlemen, welcome to the Finance Committee meeting of the City of Hudson for Monday, May 5th. I'd like to call the meeting to order. First order of business is the discussion, possible action on minutes from the past meeting. Is there any discussion? If not, I would call for a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion or additions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next order on the agenda is our claims. I'll make a motion to approve claims for $317,088.27. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I got two, I guess, real quick. The JRK services.
Pardon?
JRK services for 100 count for $2,400. It says something about 75 gator bags, Arbor jets.
I believe that had to do with the Arbor Day celebration. Possibly Tom could, but I think the gator bags are the bags you hang on to new trees.
Referencing the gator bags, Arbor Jet, and things like that, that's all references our DNR forestry grant that was approved.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of that we incorporated within our Arbor Day celebration. But it's going to be ongoing this summer with the treatment of ash trees and the watering of some of our newer, smaller trees. Those are those green bags you see on some of the smaller trees out in the boulevard. So we're going to be doing that this year also.
Okay, and then the other one was State of Wisconsin inspection services for $6,000.
Right, that's an annual. They either charge us to take care of all the weights and measures in the city, or the city has to contract for it privately.
Oh,
So they go into all the grocery stores and anybody that has anything that weighs things.
yeah.
Yeah, gas pumps. When you see the sticker, that's what you're paying for.
We pay for that as a city, huh?
Yes.
Do we send that back out to the businesses? Okay.
I don't think we do.
It's been there forever.
Yeah, cities over a certain size are required to do it. If you're under a certain size, the state, takes care of that. But I think we're well over that size. I think it's over 5,000 people.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks,
Any other
Tom.
ones, Randy?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is operator's license for approval for May 5th. There's a 10 operator's license, which is Erwin Utek, April Utek, Sharon Nauman, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Elisa Alverson, Hannah Larson, Aaron Stanaway, Kimberly Johnson, Clinton LaGranger, Israel Newman, and Jennifer Elmore. That is operator's license from June 6, 2014 to June 30th, 2016.
May 6th?
May 6th, excuse me. What did I say, June?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And to approve the issuance of one temporary operator's license to be used for the Hudson Hockey Association event on May 10th, 2014 for the Beanbag Tournament to Dustin Danielson.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Again, these licenses are subject to any payment of outstanding debt owed to the city. Next item on the agenda is we have a written request to change the premise description for Class B liquor and beer license for Smiling Moose Bar, Smiling Moose Lodge Bar and Grill.
Move to approve contingent on, or do you want to just take this at the full council?
No, I think we can make a motion here. If you
I move to approve contingent on its passage at the council meeting,
The deck, you mean?
the deck and.
Yeah, it wouldn't go anywhere if the council didn't approve it. We could approve it without that, but that's fine. Council has to approve it, I would believe, yeah.
Whatever.
Is there a second?
I would just like to stick with the contingencies that are on the recommendation.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that the fire inspector and the police chief, and he pays us, whatever outstanding was $559.41. He had an outstanding debt that I don't know is paid yet. So I guess it's
Yeah,
contingent.
it's not past the due date yet, but it is outstanding at this
It
moment.
is outstanding, so, okay. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
The issue on the agenda, though, or his motion included that subject to the council, I believe.
Council.
He meant on the building plan.
Yeah, I mean, I
For
don't know
the
if
deck
that,
and patio.
We almost took them out of order. We should have approved the building plans before we approved this.
This
No,
has to go to finance because it's a license, so that's why it came here.
So I'm making it contingent on a staff recommendation, and we'll just leave it at that. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, and you added in the
The rest that's
the rest of it?
The
Is that
rest
okay
of
with
the
the
contingency
motion?
that was listed there?
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item we have is, I got to get to where I'm at, is the liquor license. At this point, we're having a staff recommendation of the following liquor license. I think you see all of those in front of you.
Mr. Mayor, I'll recuse myself if you're taking it all as one bill or one motion.
No, I think we're going to do it by Class B, and we'll do it individually, if that's okay with you.
I'll just recuse myself.
Totally? Okay.
Then you can do them as one.
Yeah, then we'll do them all as one, as Class B liquor license, Class A liquor license, Class B beer, and Class C wine and beer, B.
And are you including the changes to the?
Yes.
That the
The,
4 have applied for? Agave Noodles and Company,
Yep.
Nova, and Hanson Brothers?
we've got Noodle, yeah.
I'd like, I would like to not give license to the Hanson Brothers Golf Holdings. So I don't,
You want to pull that one?
I'd like to pull that, yeah.
Okay. Do we talk about that individually, or we
Why
just?
don't you pull it, set
Yep.
it aside, and then if you want to do the rest as
Yep.
one, you can, if that's,
If that's what,
acceptable to the
if that's the will of the three of us.
That's okay with me.
Okay, is that a motion, Rich?
No, it's my motion, yeah,
Okay.
to
But I'll second.
approve them all and withhold the
Okay.
Hanson Golf Brothers,
I will
Hanson
second.
Brothers Golf Holdings.
I will
Okay,
second that
I will
motion.
second that. Or you've already seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Do
I
we
think
discuss
they have
that
to.
then?
I think they have to have a hearing if we're not going to.
well, yeah, do you want to discuss
Yeah, I think
Hanson Brothers separately?
Yeah, well, I just,
That would be,
appropriate at this time.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think Mary, go ahead.
I feel that they're not operating right now. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, and I don't know if they're having 1 or 2 events a year. I think they're supposed. I think it says they can have 2 events or something to keep their license. But I'd rather open that license up for someone else who's actually going to operate a facility.
Yeah. And we'd like to generate employment from our liquor licenses, and there's no employment being generated. They've got signs out that say they're closed, no trespassing. They've got barricades across the
Yes.
parking lot.
Yeah, those just went up. Those barricades, I
Yeah,
think, recently.
There's no use of the license at all. I mean, it just doesn't benefit the city at all. It doesn't meet the criteria we're trying to establish by issuing liquor licenses.
okay, there is a procedure for not renewing, and a notice has to be sent.
Do we have to have a hearing then?
Yeah, and there has to be a hearing. It may be appropriate to gather some more information just on this matter, and then
Well, we
decide
had
how to proceed.
we had this discussion last year about the
Yeah.
clarification on what the definition of open was. I thought we were pretty clear. I thought you were pretty clear
Yeah.
also. And it doesn't look to me like they haven't been open all winter.
Well, that's why I say we should pull the minutes from last year as to what that clarification was, and then gather the information on how they've been operating.
Well, last year, I'd like to just state for the record that I fought to keep it as for the reason of it was basically our only gathering hall, so to speak, for big events. But to me, I feel that the system's been abused, and we've been told mistruths in the past about what's going on, and
Well, I think we have our ordinance, whether or not they understood it or not. I think we have an ordinance, and I'm not sure they followed our ordinance this year.
Well, that's what
Yep.
what I'm saying is, I'm not disagreeing, I'm just saying there's a process.
Sure.
We should check what the ordinance says and what the clarification was, and gather the information regarding their operation.
Yeah.
So that we can put together an adequate notice of intent not to renew.
Okay.
And they'd have to show me some business plan that indicates that they're willing to create some employment for the city and abide by the ordinance that we have. I don't see any of that happening right now.
Okay, maybe just as a rogue question, but I understand we have an ordinance, but can't we just choose if we not to renew?
No,
Just once you renew, you have to automatically
Yes.
continue renewing.
well, it's not automatic, but there's a procedure set up by statute that you have to follow, and you have to show facts for not renewing. And one fact is non-compliance with their continuation of, the city's continuation of business ordinance.
And how many of those points in the ordinance did it have to meet?
Well, you're not you have to show some sort of non-compliance with an ordinance or disorderly house. There's
correct.
causes.
Yes.
Not just the analysis that you go through in deciding whether to issue the initial license. It's more difficult not to renew.
Right.
Once you've issued a license. You can only, you have to show cause, basically, as it's defined in Wisconsin statutes.
Right,
And
which we
the
did-
cause would be not continuing business as required by the Hudson City Ordinance. I don't know that you'd go through the factors the council considers in deciding whether to issue the license. We've got to show non-compliance with the local ordinance.
Well, and creating employment is one of the criteria for issuing
That's-
a license.
Well, for issuing a license, but that's just a factor to consider. That's not a violation.
Under the ordinance, as I read it, it says that it's at the will of the council to renew the license,
Well,
That's what I
to
just read.
issue a license.
and also to continue a license.
Well, the statute does set out a procedure, and you've
Yeah,
got
and
to
I know we need to hear
So,
it. We need to
I
hear
mean,
it.
I think, I'm not disagreeing that, I think the main thing is the failure to comply with the continuation of business.
Okay, so we just have to, do we have to send them a letter and then we'll set up a hearing or whatever?
Yeah, we'll do a notice of not to renew, but I guess what I'm saying is we should have some more facts on what their operation has been.
I just,
Wouldn't they have to provide that to us?
Yes, they would, but
What's the lead time on the hearing? Only reason I'm asking is whether this could come back at the next meeting, you could gather, do you want to get
yes,
back
that's
right
what
away,
I
or-
was thinking. I don't know statutorily what I can check before the council meeting,
Okay,
what the
Reason I ask
required
is we
notice
still got
is.
Almost 2 months
yep.
to get it.
Yep.
That's why
Right.
we've got them going here early.
Yeah,
I think it's really unfortunate that a business puts the council in this type of a position after we were very, very lenient last year in the non-compliance issue. I think that's really unfortunate.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that we can't
Yeah.
just say no, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Put on the next.
I
We'll put it
agree.
on the next
yeah,
agenda.
put it on the, right, and I'll check the notice
Have we voted on this, Neil?
No, we haven't.
lead time.
I don't think there's been a motion.
Yeah, there has
Yeah,
been.
I
There has
made a
been a
motion.
motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the discussion possible action on appropriating Public Works equipment capital funds for truck purchase.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Discussion and possible action on part-time city engineer established pay rate, hiring individual for position. I think you have the consideration. We've gone through the versus a independent contractor versus a employee, and we felt it was easier to go with the employee as far as liability insurance and those kinds of things, and workers' compensation and all the liability issues that, as an employee, it just leaves us a lot in better shape.
One thing that will need to be added, which we didn't put in here, was a valid Wisconsin, or valid driver's license. So we'll throw that under required qualifications.
Any,
So, you just have one question. This is outside of hiring a city engineer, like a full-time, I mean, firm.
Correct, these are two separate.
this is
So-
totally separate.
Right, so when is the, what's going to be the lag time between the two? We
Don't we,
Well,
I
you're-
don't know.
that's on the agenda for city council, I believe, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Whatchamacallit, so once the RFPs, then I can go out and, a couple months probably. By the
Okay.
time we do the advertising and you do the interview, well, whatever decision, interview or hire or whatever.
Perfect. I just wanted to know I couldn't remember what the hire,
Right, and Foth will continue on with any projects they have ongoing. so-
yep, till then, okay.
And they will stay on longer if we don't have someone.
Correct.
Okay.
So,
The recommendation says establish an hourly rate for the position.
There's three different things. You can make it as one motion or three motions. Approve the job description, set a rate, and then approve hiring.
Okay, so we're going to go through them each individually.
Yep. Or you can do them all as one motion.
I'd like to
It
do them
doesn't
all at
matter.
once,
do it as
unless
one.
anybody has a problem with that.
Yeah,
Just that we have to
I don't
cover
have a
all
problem
three
with
things.
it. What was the rate that we established?
It was between 60 and 70
Right.
Per hour.
per hour, and now that we're having employee, we're going to have to pay workers' comp, so I'd recommend 65. If that's okay? That's halfway in
Yeah.
between,
Sounds reasonable.
okay?
I'll make a motion to approve all three we had.
Yep,
Okay.
and who we're
With
hiring.
the change. to
With the changes to driver's license and at $65
Okay,
an hour.
discussion.
I'll second.
All right, discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All three things. That was
Oh,
it.
okay.
Discussion, possible action of position description for Assistant Building Inspector position. Authorize the city administrator to proceed with recruitment and hiring process for the position.
This was approved as part of the 2014 budget. Denny and David have gone through and made changes and adjustments to reflect what they'd like to see this position entail.
Yeah, essentially, the responsibilities of the part-time building inspector would be similar to what David Gray had as an assistant building inspector, just be fewer hours involved.
Okay.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Denny.
Welcome.
Discussion, possible action on temporary Class B and Class B license for the Hudson Hockey Association for a fundraiser event on May 10th. You have that in front
That's
of you?
different than the Bean Bay one.
Oh, that is the main bank.
Yeah, didn't we approve? I thought we approved.
You approved an operator's. For
We
this
had the
event.
license, operator's license.
Right. And this is the actual license.
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Is 1 a.m. the closing time for most of our establishments?
On Saturday, it would be
2:30.
2:30.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'm okay with that.
Fridays and Saturdays.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion and possible action on fireworks sales permits. We have four recommending approval contingent attempting to, they must attend a mandatory meeting to Menards, Fleet Farm of Menominee, and TNT Fireworks for Target store and Walmart store. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Any items for future agenda items?
Move to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
We're adjourned. All those in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.